Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Real quick one for you here today. Quick game of interplanetary I Spy going on at Sol 1110. Okay, here's the image on the page from the JPL website, and it doesn't look like much when you look at it to start with. Some pretty interesting rocks here. Some of them are very flat. These slabs are all over the place. I really don't think most of these are even natural at all. I actually think we're looking at a huge buried complex of buildings which probably were ruined many thousands of years ago and are largely buried in sand. But when you look at this image, you go to the sort of above center right here, and there's something interesting. Now, this may be pareidolia. This may not be. It may be a skull. It may be a carving. It could, who knows? Could just be a rock. But I'll show you up close anyway. I won't take too long on this because this was just a real quick, simple find. This one. Here's the raw image here. I'll zoom into it. Now, looks fine, this image, until you zoom in, like they all do. They're all so badly damaged by JPL that when you zoom into them, they just turn to crap like this. I mean, this is really badly compressed. As I always say, I'm constantly moaning about this. I do apologise for that, but it's very annoying when you're trying to find stuff in these images. And a lot of these things are quite small. And this possible skull here is probably only about somewhere between 3 and 5 inches from one side to the next, from left to right. So there's not a great deal of detail to be found here because it's not that close. It's very small. If it was down here, we would get a lot more detail, but it's a good few meters back from there. So there isn't a great deal to see. But when you enhance these things, you can pull out something. You just add some contrast. Here's a raw clip. All I've done is enlarge that. And even in the raw clip, you can see what looks like an eye here, and a mouth, and some teeth going up and down here, and what looks like a nose there. And there's something weird going on here, which is very hard to make out. It may be some kind of growth or deformation on the possible skull creature, or it could be a parasite. Some kind of parasite creature that is actually crawling over this skull and eating the flesh. So who's to say? Now I'll show you the enhancements I've done real quick. Here's the first one. I've Gaussian blurred it, got rid of those blocks as much as I can, added some contrast. And now you can start to see these teeth starting to show up here. The mouth and teeth, and the eyes starting to pop out now. Now we've added a bit of shadow in there. And you can just about make out a nostril there. Now, what this is here, I still cannot make it out. I'll show you the next enhancement. And I've gone in and darkened the shadows a bit more and highlighted some of the lighter parts. But I haven't gone crazy with it because there is a limit to what you can do with something this small. This is literally probably only a few inches wide. And if we saw it from front to back, it might be 4 or 5 inches long. It looks like some kind of weird reptilian, or who knows what creature this is. I haven't seen anything quite like it before. It's really quite odd. The teeth look fairly straight. It doesn't look canine, so who knows what it is. It could just be a rock. It could just be my imagination. But it does look like it has teeth and a lower jaw here, upper lip there, nose here, eye here. The other eye's sort of out of shot, but you can see quite pronounced brow ridges here, one here and one sticking out there. And what the hell this thing is, I have no idea. So I enhanced it a bit more, and that's about as far as I'm going to push it, really, because there isn't enough detail here to actually pull out. And there is some compression lines going through here. You can see one just going down there. So that part of the image seems to be quite badly damaged, a lot more than the rest of it, this particular part. But it looks like something coming out of his mouth, perhaps, and growing. And it does look quite green as well. When you enhance the contrast on this image, after you white balance the selected part, you've got all this green coming out. Now that may well be there. it does tend to show up on some of these things when you push the contrast a bit, and I do actually think there is quite a lot of green in some of these images, and the reason why they use this red orangey puke filter is to hide that, is precisely to hide the green, because that's the first colour that will be filtered out. The yellows and greens will just go. So there we are. Is it pareidolia? Could be. Is it just a rock? Could be. Is it a skull? Could be. Stranger things have been found, and many people are finding them all over the world. Independent researchers are finding skulls, they're finding boats, they're finding buildings, they're finding all sorts of things lying around the Gale Crater and on the edge of Mount Sharp. And as I always say, don't rule anything out. Even the chief at NASA said, I think about 6 months ago, when most people ignored it, even he said, Charles Bolden, I think his name is, even he said that there may have been life on Mars, and there may even still be life there now. And this was broadcast on Channel 4 News over here in the UK and on ITV News. Most people ignored it. I put a video up of it straight away, which you can see on my site. But if he's saying that, then people really need to open their minds to what they're looking at here. Instead of attacking everybody that does this research, people need to open their minds and think out of the box. We're looking at an alien planet here. Some of these things are very different to stuff, to creatures and things we have down here. A lot of them do look very similar, but this looks very different to anything I've seen on Earth. And if it is a creature, and it could well be, it probably is a completely new species that we have no idea about, and that needs to be borne into mind when you're looking at alien creatures. They may not have features that we're used to looking at, so you've really got to not close your mind to these things and look at these things in a different way. So there we have it, folks. Is it a skull? Could be. Is it a rock? Could be. Is it pareidolia? Could well be. But as I always say, never rule anything out when it comes to Mars. If the NASA chief says there might have been life there and there might be life there now, anything is possible. Don't rule this out. And this actually looks better when you zoom back a bit. If you get too close to it, it doesn't actually get any sharper. But you can see teeth and a mouth there. You can see an eye. You can see a nose. Looks like brow ridges here. What the hell this thing is crawling out of his mouth, I have no idea. Could be some kind of parasitic growth. It could be some kind of creature. Could be some kind of crab crawling up its face, trying to consume the freeze-dried flesh on its skull. Who knows? Thanks for watching, everybody. See you soon.